Hello, welcome to Stretford Paddock. My forehead is off the shot there, so I'll sit down a little bit. We are here for the team news for Man United against Club Brugge, as I'm sure you're aware, because that's the title. Let's get back up again. There we go, sat properly now. The team is already active, out a bit earlier for the Europa League games, as it tends to be, so we should be getting a team news graphic come in very soon. The team then is Romero, Wan-Bissaka, Bailly, Maguire and Shaw. So Eric Bailly coming back in for Victor Lindelof there. That's the only change to the centre back to the back line. We've got McTominay, Fred, Mata, Fernandes as our midfield, and then James and Ighalo up front. We may see Mata on the right, James on the left. It's a bit of a rotated side. There's the team lineup there. You can see we're looking at a 4-2-3-1 potentially. Ighalo's first start for United. That's the main headline. No Martial. I think the only other real kind of notable absentee would be Mason Greenwood, but he is on the bench. I'll go through the subs as well. We've got De Gea, Lindelof, Williams, Lingard, Matic, Chong and Greenwood all on the bench. So it's a pretty strong side. The main points there is Ighalo's first start for United and McTominay's first start in about 2 months as well. So some optimism and maybe a little bit of encouraging signs there, especially on the McTominay front. His little cameo against Watford, obviously enough to put him in the starting lineup for this game. Again, it's an 8 o'clock kickoff. They always bring I don't know why, I think the Premier League, they have to do it an hour before. But obviously the Europa League, an hour and 15 for whatever reason, not quite sure. JJ Powell saying, "Hey Joe, my G, keep up the good work." You know it, JJ, mate. No chance I won't. Or something. Let us know score predictions in the comments then. Time to pop a beer. Wish the lads would have a rum evening again. That was fun. We are going to have a couple of drinks. It's not going to be like the famous Tranmere rum evening, because that was too much. But it will be a bit of a laugh, hopefully. And hopefully United can get a good result. I think I said before the game, I thought we needed, in the previous show, I thought we needed Maguire, Fernandes, Martial to really sort of, not obviously it would never be a certainty, but to be very confident for the game. We'll have to see how Ighalo does. Obviously, we've never seen him start a game for United before. No Martial on the subs bench even, which is interesting. Is any rumours or any news as to why that is, guys? If anyone knows, just give me a shout. No Martial in the squad whatsoever. Obviously, Greenwood being the only option off the bench. Maybe he's just giving him a rest. 3-1 United, 3-0 United. Worry about Scott starting, to be honest. Why are you worried? Just on the injury front, or just because you think he might not be ready fitness-wise, or the game might pass him by because he's not played? What's your worry about Scott starting? Nimesh, just read the bench out for you, mate. I'll do it again, though. We've got De Gea, Lindelof, Williams, Lingard, Matic, Chong and Greenwood. So there's a few, couple of defensive options, a couple of midfield options, but only one striking option off the bench. Again, no Martial in the squad. Interesting. Martial being rested, apparently. Probably just keeping Martial fresh for Everton going to be a really hard game. Yeah, that's a good point. And Martial is one of the few players that hasn't had a rest almost at all, has he? Because of our lack of striking options. It's interesting, actually. Martial, whose injury record actually hasn't been particularly good since he's been at United. He's missed quite a few games since he joined us. Obviously, he had a decent time out towards the start of the season. But since then, since that little sort of 7 or 8 games that he missed towards the start of the season, he's played almost every game. And I think this is just a guess, but it's certainly one of the longer injury-free periods he's had at the club. So I'm not surprised to see him taking a bit of a rest there. He hasn't played in a month, played a few minutes last game, that's it. Yeah, so is it his match fitness that you're worried about? Is it the chance of him getting injured, or is it you just don't think he'll be up to speed, you don't think he'll be very good? 5 of the 11 are Ole's signings. Yeah, that's interesting. I think that's all of his signings are playing in this game, and that's pretty much off our strongest team. Obviously, Martial for Ighalo would probably make it our strongest possible side. It's good to see Eric Bailly getting another game. I think he looked good defensively, looked good against Chelsea. Obviously, on the ball, he gave the ball away a few times. Looked slightly off the pace a little bit. United 3, Club Brugge 0. We're getting a lot of 3-goal predictions here. Maybe that's partly down to the Watford game. I hope we get a few at half-time, then make 3 half-time subs. I think that's very optimistic. Don't be surprised to see a game that, I think we should be good enough to beat them, but I wouldn't be confident of overrunning them and getting enough goals at half-time to be making subs, but obviously we can dream. What's the bench, Joe? I'll read it again. Then we've got De Gea, Lindelof, Williams, Lingard, Matic, Chong and Greenwood all on the bench. So relatively strong bench. Again, no Martial. The main story obviously there, Ighalo makes his first start for United. He's had decent chances in the games that he's played so far. Didn't do too much wrong against Chelsea, but could have maybe lifted the ball over the goalkeeper. The one against Watford, he went round the goalie and the ball got a bit of a heavy touch, but then his shot was just narrowly deflected wide off the thigh of a Watford defender. So he does look dangerous in front of goal. He gets himself in good positions. I think that's the most important thing with him is he's missed a couple of chances, but all strikers miss chances. The fact that he has made a couple of really good chances in how many minutes would you say he's played? Maybe 40 minutes so far for United. So I think the amount of chances he's made in that time is as encouraging as anything. Jack Hudson saying Ighalo will. I guess you mean score. Dylan saying 2-1 United, Ighalo and Mata. 2-0 Ighalo and Greenwood. Martial, one of the players who got a knock in training. Maybe. The suggestion was that he's maybe being rested, but yeah, we haven't heard anything officially still, I don't think. So I'm sure Solskjaer will be asked about his absence in the pre-match interview. So I'm guessing we will get some kind of clarification as to what's going on there. Ighalo will get great service today. Bruno and Mata whipping them in. Yeah, that's good. That's a good point. I think, is this the first time Bruno and Mata have started a game together? I think it is, isn't it? Undoubtedly our two best passers of the ball. Obviously, Mata's speed isn't what it used to be, but you would imagine, and even Dan James, who I think is probably after Paul Pogba, who obviously isn't playing, I think James, Fernandes, and Mata are our three best passers of the ball that are all fit. James's crossing, I think, is underrated. He's put some excellent balls in, 6 of which have turned into assists, and I think probably another half a dozen or maybe another dozen that have been incredibly dangerous that either players haven't gotten the end of or they haven't managed to convert when they have gotten the end of them. So I think he shouldn't be short of service today. So I think we will see what Ighalo's all about today, and hopefully if he does get 2 chances, he scores one of them. Because one thing we don't want is an edgy game that drifts towards 60, 70 minutes at 0-0 or, at 1-0 or, something like that. I think we need to get this game sort of won and a couple of goals in the bag as early as possible because it will become very tense, very edgy. And we've seen over the years, we saw it against Bayern Munich, who obviously Club Brugge are not Bayern Munich of 2010. We saw it against Sevilla. We saw it against Atletico Bilbao. Where you play teams in Europe and you think, it will be all right here, and you get shocked and you get surprised. So we saw it against Rochdale as well, or was it Tranmere? Which one was the one where it was 1-1? Rochdale. So it may be difficult, but I think we need to get those early goals, and that'll be the key to winning this game. Glad McSauce is back fit and playing. Yeah, exactly. Ighalo scores were on the pitch. Yeah, go on then. Do that. If Ighalo scores and 10,000 people are on the pitch, that would be pretty great, to be honest. McTominay and Fred again, so nice. Yeah, people forget how well they were doing just before McTominay got injured. I do think Matic deserves a shout out and an honourable mention, though, as one of the key catalysts in our recent defensive upturn. And we may well miss his defensive positioning today. I think his speed isn't quite what it was, as we know. I don't think he brings the ball out well with his feet anymore because he doesn't quite have the legs to sort of get up and down the way he used to. But his defensive positioning is the best in the squad, definitely from midfield. And I think he's excellent. That's something that McTominay can match, the physicality, but I don't think he's quite learnt that defensive positioning yet. So, hopefully that midfield area will be okay without Matic, which seems such a strange thing to say considering at the start of the season it looked like he'd never play for United again, and all of a sudden we're saying, he's been one of the key factors in the 7 clean sheets in 9 games that we've just seen from United. Bailly to get sent off? Oh, I hope not. MUFC app says Martial is getting rested, so no injury. Well, there you go. That's nice to hear. You don't want to, obviously no injury would be good. And what are the reasons people don't play games? Injury, falling out with the manager, rested. So it's the best one of those 3 by the sound of things, which is great. Maybe it's that lack of pace up front. Only James that's really pacey. Yeah, we don't really know Igalo's pace yet. I don't think he's known for being ridiculously quick, but I think a lot of the speed, especially for striker, comes in the way that they make space in front of goal. That can translate to being quick. I think Ruud van Nistelrooy is a good example of someone that was always so alert, and his attacking positioning was so perfect that he looked occasionally like he was quicker than he was. I think over 5 yards, over a couple of yards, just enough to make a space, dart to the front post, drop back to the penalty spot, that kind of thing. That can sort of give you a false sense of speed that can make someone look quick when they aren't. So hopefully Igalo will have that first couple of yards and that attacking positioning that can get him in space, regardless of the fact that, like I said, Dan James is probably the only out-and-out speed merchant on the pitch, really. I think we'll have to see about that one. Hopefully at Old Trafford, we will have more of the ball. They'll be sat back a little bit. We won't quite need that pace quite as much. Could that not be a 4-4-2 diamond? Yeah, it could. We could see James and Igalo up front. We've seen James and Martial as a kind of split striker partnership a couple of times this season, but that's usually when we're playing the 5 at the back formation. So I think I would be expecting to see the formation we've got here, but again, if it is a couple of strikers and a diamond in behind, I wouldn't be too surprised either. McSauce to score, pick up where he left off. Hopefully, that'd be great. Why is James playing? Could have put Williams out wide. I think Dan James is better going forward than Brandon Williams. He's got 6 assists this season. I still think he's United's top assister this season. So, he's maybe not been quite as good the last few games, but he's certainly still a threat going forward. I can't see Mata actually playing wide either. Well, he's played on that right-hand side, dozens of times for United, drifting in a little bit on the ball, putting those balls over the top to the likes of Igalo and James. So I'm sure we'll see something else like that. That's going to be all for now. We're going to be back, though, at 7:45 with the watch along. I'm going to be joined by Alex and Kieran and Patrick. So there's going to be loads of us on this. It should be very exciting. Get a couple of drinks in, you lads, and join us at 7:45 for the watch along. And we'll see you in a bit.